Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Fish.
And I'm Brandon Price.
And this is Fish
or Price Ranch.
Hey everyone, we're here at Fisher Price Ranch, and I've gotten a lot of questions to figure out how to tell if your goat is pregnant. The only for sure sign is to do a blood test and have it tested at the lab. They're about $6, $6.50, something like that, and we use ubrl.org. But if you're around your goats enough, you'll start to see different signs that'll give you an idea if they are pregnant. So be forewarned, I will be showing you goat vulvas and udders. So if you don't want to see that up close, don't continue watching. But I'm going to show you a couple of signs that I see. Now, right now, my goats are just about 3 months along. And I usually can start to tell around then if they're pregnant or not. Now, we bred 20 of our girls. 19 of our girls were bred within a 10-day period. So we're going to go around and check on these girls. It does look like most of them are pregnant, but we'll look at some that are pregnant and some that aren't pregnant to kind of show you the differences, though every goat is different. So let's get started. So I just gave all my girls a little snack of alfalfa. So they're busy eating. So this will give us a chance to kind of walk around, and I will show you some goats that are pregnant and some that are not. And then, of course, if they're first fresheners, they're going to look different than if they've had kids before. So, like I said, it all depends on the goat. So we could start with Snickerdoodle here. Now, she is a first freshener. I could tell she's pregnant because she's quite fat, of course. And then she's getting a slight udder. When she walks, you can see her nipples, her teats will actually kind of wobble around. And there's actually a little bit of a formation of an udder there. Also, if you look closely at her vulva, see how it's really smooth and it looks quite wide. Trying to show you guys. So if you look at the vulva this way, it'll look wider and puffier than a goat that's not pregnant. I'm sorry, my camera is not wanting to work with me. But if you guys can kind of look at hers, and then, of course, if you look at a goat, right side is Rugrats, left side is Lunch. So their bellies are always going to be a little lopsided. They're not going to be completely round and symmetrical. So if you look at the right side, they're typically a little bit lower, and they stick out more if they're pregnant. So now, here's another goat that's pregnant. She will be a second freshener, and as you can see, her vulva is loose. It's actually a little bit more pointy. I've noticed that when they've had kids, their vulva becomes a little bit longer than goats that have not had kids. And obviously she's starting a little bit of an udder, and she's got a pretty decently fat belly. Let me find one that we did not breed yet. We have some that we're going to breed next year in March. The problem is most of these girls are already bred, and I can't show you babies because they look different from adults. But let's see if I can find somebody up here that's not pregnant. Oh, let's see. These girls are all bred, and I believe they're all pregnant. Okay, everybody appears already bred. Let's go back down this way. Hi, Zara. Are you getting excited for babies, huh? Yeah? Good girl. All right, let me just find a goat real quick that we have not bred. Evie is not bred. However, she just started drying up, so her udder is big still. And she's kind of skittish, so I can't get very close to her. But Tipsy, we have not bred yet. Now, she always has a fat belly. So that's not always a good sign. But this would give you guys kind of an idea. If you saw, I don't have anything. Go back to eating your alfalfa. Now she's going to pee. But if you guys saw her belly, the right side was a little bit lower than the left side. So that way you can see their bellies are not fully symmetrical. And then, of course, her udder is really dry. But if you look at her vulva, you can see it's not smooth. It's kind of wrinkly and puckered looking. And that's one of the ways that you can tell So this brown doe, Tipsy Fiddler, she recently came back to our ranch, and I did a blood test on all the goats that came back to the ranch just to see if they were pregnant or not. Now she came up as open, which is not pregnant, but if you actually look at her, she is covered in mucus. She is actually currently in heat. Come on, camera, focus. But anyway, she is covered. So obviously she's not pregnant, which I'm excited about because we would like to breed her to Bazooka in March. But as you can see, her belly is not very big. It sags down quite a bit compared to this side. And like I said, though, the belly isn't the best option to look at, but the vulva usually is. But hers is covered in goo. She's obviously in heat, so we know she's not pregnant, but I can't really give you a good close-up of her vulva because, well, it's covered in mucus. So let's see. This is another first freshener. She is definitely pregnant. As you can see, her vulva is very puffy. You can actually see her udder is starting. You can see there's a good formation to it already. But if you look at her vulva, see how it's very, very smooth. There's no wrinkles in it. All right, so this black doe has had kids before. That's actually her daughter right next to her. And then we don't know if she's pregnant, but if she is, she would only be a couple of weeks. But if you look at her vulva, you can see how it's really wrinkly. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's really wrinkly. It's not smooth. It's not puffy in any way. So she is not pregnant unless it's within a few weeks. She was with a buck 24/7 since she's had her last baby at the last property that she was at. And so if she's pregnant, because we did a blood test and it was open, that means it was in the last 3 weeks if she did get pregnant. So it wouldn't show any signs yet, but that's kind of a good example of a doe that has a vulva that's wrinkly and definitely not pregnant or not far enough along. All right, you guys. Well, I know that the goats will not work with me, but I hope this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea on what to look for when your goats are bred and possibly pregnant. Give you some signs to tell if they did take. But usually you can't tell till they're at least 2.5 to 3 months along. That's when you'll start to see your first signs. Now, when they're 3 months along, like mine are about right now, we can actually start to feel the babies kick. Obviously, I can't show you that on video, but if you feel on the side of the goat, let me turn the camera around. Now, what you would do is you'd have somebody hold the goat, and then right here in this little crevice, right behind or right in front of the back leg, you'll put your hand up in there. Now, the babies are going to be small still, but if you put your hand up there right in front of the udder and in front of the back leg, right in that little pocket there, that's where you'll usually start to feel little kicks in there. So if you have somebody hold them or you put them in a milk stanchion and you put your hands back there on each side, if you just wait patiently and the goat doesn't move too much, you can sometimes feel the little tiniest kick. They're really small kicks at this point. When they get about 4 months along, then you'll really feel them kick. But here's one more sign. If you look at these goats, their belly is really low. So if you look at a normal goat that's not pregnant, like even though this girl's huge, she's pretty straight across on her legs with her belly. And if you look at these girls, they hang low. So that's another sign they'll start to get a lower belly as they progress. All right, you guys. Well, I hope that this was helpful. It's kind of a sporadic video. Just trying to work around the goats. They're definitely not wanting to work with me today. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.